Hey folks, it's Donald Ward McCarthy here, Principal with 311 Realty. This is kind of an aside video from the normal stuff that we do, where we do some of our local neighborhoods, what's the most expensive home sale, least expensive home sale, etc. General economic data in regards to where do we see our interest rates going and where do we see house prices going. So I wanted to actually jump in and do a bit of research on, okay, so the peak in regards to our prices was in 2022 in February. You can see here in this chart here, this was the peak here, right? February of 2022. And indeed, of course, interest rate hikes then happening after that. We saw a very rapid decrease in our prices to July of 2022 as well too. But I wanted to look at the differential between the house prices at that peak and June of 2025 and see, okay, so we're being told right now, and even I've said it, that the condo market is the most devastated market in regards to prices, etc. But I did a very interesting piece of research, and it actually surprised me very much as to what I found out. And I had to reach out to my colleague Hugh and get his take on it. He had a very interesting point to make. So let's jump in. Here's the chart here, prices in February 2022. You can see here, for example, detached homes, the peak was in 416 was over 2 million. For condo apartments, it was about $822,000. But look at June of 2025. So I did a differential on each different house type, and very interesting. You can see here detached homes in the 416 were down 12%. In the 905, the greatest decrease in all product actually was detached in the 905, down 25%. Townhomes in that 905, again 24%. Oddly enough, like I say, which surprised me, the least depreciative factor in both those categories for 416 and 905 were actually condo apartments. Wow. The least depreciation has occurred in condos since that period. And that kind of baffled me until I chatted with Hugh, and Hugh had a very good point to make. Basically, there's a floor in affordability. So more people can afford at that floor. There are more people buying in that sector as well too, as opposed to the $1.6 million detached home. So it makes sense that, of course, there would be less depreciation in that product. Now, are there more deals, and is there a greater supply, and the property days on market factor is far greater in condos? Yes. But that's an interesting point to take there, is that indeed the depreciation has been least on both condo apartments in 416 and 905 areas. Where do you find the deals? Indeed, well, you have to go and find the very motivated sellers. That's where you get the deals, and that applies also to freehold. There you have it, folks. Interesting bit of data, eh? 311 Realty. Ciao.